Hiya everybody, just a quick update. I'm now I'm a regular contributor now to Paranormal Magazine, which is available worldwide. I'm writing articles, and they're also letting me illustrate them with my own artwork. So if you get issue 58, which is out now, I've written an article on demonology in terms of defining it as a psychological condition, and I've included my artwork is in there. In the issue after that, I'll be having an article on the Golem of Prague, including some artwork on that I've done. I'll be dealing with that issue from the aspect of that the whole myth of the Golem was basically a propaganda weapon that was devised by the Jewish community in Prague to protect themselves against anti-Semitic attacks. So even though I'm writing for this magazine, I'm trying to write the articles in such a way that they're approached from a new subject. And while I was researching a future article here, and also something I'm interested in anyway, is gargoyles. I was on holiday in Germany not so long ago and visited the Dom Cathedral in Cologne, and it's just an unbelievable building. If you haven't seen it, it just oozes evil. Even though it's supposed to be for God, but it's just horrible. It's incredibly impressive, but it's like something out of like Mordor and Lord of the Rings. It's just so full on. But this brings me back to things like even seeing them on old churches here in Ireland when I was a kid. It's just like gargoyles. It's like, okay, we know it comes from a French word. Basically, I don't think it means to remove water or something. It is a kind of a gutter system, but like, did they have to build them with those kinds of faces? You know, Notre Dame has some incredible ones. They're like monsters. Then there's nothing. You know, if you're going to build a Christian church, and you're going to put decorative downspouts to protect the building from running rainwater, surely you would put like nice happy angels, or anything, just something that was like uplifting. But you wouldn't surround your cathedral in these what are basically demons and monsters and devils and other things like that. And I've never ever believed that story that they put them there to ward off evil spirits. I mean, it's just unbelievable that people actually believe that. We know the church, we know the history of the Catholic Church and Christianity in general. That it's come out of Babylon. If you go back to the earliest versions, it's Babylon, it's Babylonian, and the Babylonians were completely and totally obsessed with demons. It was a whole demon culture. You can remember that iconic opening scene in the Exorcist movie, where the priest is actually doing an archaeological dig in Iraq, and you see this demon creature, that he finds a kind of like an effigy, and it also shows up as a large statue, and the motif of the demon reoccurs throughout the movie. But I'm just reading this book I'm reading here. It's translations from Babylonian poems and religious rites by a guy called Mr. Orsi Thompson, and this was back in the Victorian era. And I'm reading so much of this stuff now. Not only do the demons look just like what gargoyles in front of shops, but so many of the rituals, the religious rituals in Babylon, involving demons, often occurred to do with water. I'll just read one of you here, but this is just one of many. Like this, I'm limited by the video. Okay, different demons were exorcised by different processes. A fever patient might receive the following treatment: sprinkle this man with water, bring him into a seizure and a torch, that the plague demon which rested in the body of the man, like water, may trickle away. Isn't that interesting? And then another one was that you would build a figure of dough or wax and clay of a demon, and then you would pour water on top of the demon, and then the figure would be dissolved or mutilated. Now, is it just me, or like does that sound like the idea of water flowing over this demonic effigy? Isn't that not a gargoyle on a Christian church? So it's very difficult to get information about this stuff. It's just one of these things that's really hidden. But I'm going to dig into this, because I have never ever believed the idea that the gargoyles were just like decorative water spouts. There has to be an occult aspect to it, and it's certainly not to scare them away, because they've made so many of them. And it's almost like they're guardians of the church. You know, they're almost like guardians, the way they surround the circumference of these churches. When you go to the Dom in Cologne, you're really aware of this. They're like the hordes that guard the church, and the whole thing is a very evil energy about it. And outside the courtyard of the Dom, where all the tourists are milling around, it's this creepy place. It's full of like pickpockets and robbers. There's nothing. There's nothing spiritual or uplifting about it that you get when you visit other, pre-Christian sites. So, I'm going to put up some images. Look, this book is very interesting. This is a book on, this is just a general book on the occult. But look, you see, I don't know if you can see this, but like there, Gargoyles, right? But this is an old book here, and this is interesting what somebody wrote here at the top in pencil, in very nice handwriting. The Babylonians had a number system based on the number 60. Could this be the source of 666? So I was like, ooh, spooky. So anyway, they say you should never buy old witchcraft books and stuff like that because they could be charged in somehow. But I don't believe that. Well, it's never affected me, and it wouldn't be strong enough to affect my spirit anyway. So there we go. Gargoyles are demons. I'm pretty sure of it, and don't believe the stories about that they're to ward off evil spirits. If anything, they're to bring them in. So again, study and look up yourself. I may be completely off the mark here, but I don't think I am. Something just tells me I'm onto something here. So you see, we're constantly lied to. We're constantly this is you see, people think this is what magic is. Magic is not like what people think it is in things like Harry Potter. It's to do with deception and sleight of hand and trickery, and to keep your attention here while something is being done here, and you see that all the time in politics. And this is how it works. This is an old term for magic was called the art, and that's exactly what it is. It's an art of deception in the hands of like evil people, in the hands of the politicians or whatever. This is what they're doing. They're magicians. Someone like Edward Bernays, who came to the U.S. in before World War I, who was the grandnephew or the nephew, I think, of Sigmund Freud. His whole thing was pure sorcery and mind control, and it was all done through trickery and sleight of hand, but visual, and also using words. Like, I'll give you an example how they do it. Also, in a sort of a political sense, you could have you change the terms of reference. For instance, there's now a big movement here in Ireland to should we have the IMF? Should we have a national referendum on the IMF ballot? And more and more people, just about everybody wants this. The government is trying to play it down. The politicians are all like, oh, well, But they'll change the terms of reference, I can guarantee you. It won't say something in the ballot paper like, do you want the IMF to get lost? Or do you want to keep paying them? It won't say something like that. It will say, how would you like to pay the IMF off? Over a 5-year or 25-year period? And suddenly this is how they change the terms of references, and people get frustrated about it, and then they don't do anything about it. But that's what this is. This is a form of occult science. It's based on the use of language. In fact, in my current book, Puzzling People, at the back, I talk about how, in a psychopathic sense, how language is used to change people and to change your reality. And you must be very careful of the kind of words and terms you use, because these words can be used to imprison you. And likewise, when you hear stuff like, gargoyles are actually like, they're there to ward off evil spirits. Yeah, that's you're being lied to. That's because they're distracting you from the real agenda of what the church really represents, which is anything but consciousness elevation and spiritual uplifting. And so if you're in Germany, go visit Dom in Cologne. It'll absolutely blow your mind on every level, but it certainly won't raise your spiritual awareness. Okay, I'll see you. Bye.